On a Monday, trade deadline on Friday. So that means we have Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, 4 sleeps until the trade deadline. Tommy Gazzola, can you believe it?
Yes, I can. It's like this morning after 32 thoughts dropped and like the news trickled from
what
that.
What a day.
It was an information overload. The follow-up from the Kane stuff that we learned over the weekend, finding out that a couple of Oilers have no trade or no movement clauses.
How does that happen?
Dude, I don't know. Arvidson, if you didn't catch it, Arvidson and Henrique have no trade clauses.
Is this popping up on any other teams right now? Where like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
He has a 3-year no movement.
You're lying.
10-team no trade.
No.
See?
Yes.
Did this just get learned? We just learned about this today, too?
Go on Puckpedia. It says right on there.
What? Matthias Janmark has a 10-team no trade. I mean, I guess you can still move him.
This is wild.
Yeah, but has that been up there for a while, or is that just added? You're messing with me. Hernan, you're messing with me.
Oh,
I don't believe you.
I saw it on Twitter, and I went on Puckpedia to make sure, and yeah, it's true. And Enrique's is for his full 2 years.
Modified no trade. How in the world does Matthias Janmark have a modified no trade?
Fantastic question.
My
Dustin.
God. Jeez.
Fantastic.
So
question.
if you look at the Oilers right now, not that these guys will be traded, but McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Kane, that's modified now, right?
Yes.
Nuge, Arvidson, Henrique, Skinner, all no movements. And then Matthias Janmark has a 10-team no trade. How are you supposed to move money out, to move money in when it's dollar in, dollar out?
Fair. Those guys aren't supposed to be moved. That's
no.
Right? Like those guys are not the guys that you're supposed to be using as assets to move. Now, Arvidson, listen, it's not been a good fit. Don't get me wrong. He misses 15 games with an injury, but it just hasn't been a good fit. Same with Skinner. That wasn't anticipated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those two having no movement, no trade clauses is baffling, I think is the first word that comes to mind. And then secondly is just a kick in the pills. And you did it to yourself. It's the self bag tag. Ouch.
Yeah. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what do you like?
Very, very
so,
true.
like, when you say money in, money out, and the whole Evander Kane situation, we'll get to that.
Yes.
I mean, technically, without a player's approval, Corey Perry's the most money they can move off the books up front at 1.1 mil. That's the most money that could go out without needing a player's agreement, unless you move Matthias Janmark to one of his other 22 teams that he doesn't have a and that's 1.4 mil.
Right.
And then on the back end, you're not trading Ekholm. You can't trade Nurse. Bouchard's 3.9, Kulak's 2.75, but you essentially need him anyway.
Yes.
So, like, if it's a money out thing, they really don't have any options for the money out part of it. What a way to start the show.
Awesome. Wah, wah.
What a way to start deadline week. Am I right? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. You can text us. It is the Oil Stream. It is brought to you by Boston Pizza. It is the lunch hour. So if you want to swing by any Boston Pizza location, it's very simple. Pause there. I almost felt like I glitched out. $15 for lunch. If it's not ready in 20 minutes or less, you get the next one for free.
Did your controller just disconnect?
I almost was just like shut down. I don't know. I
stopped and looked at you.
I shut down there very briefly.
Are you okay?
I don't know what that was.
Oh,
I don't know. I shut down very briefly.
I was reading text and I was trying to ponder something, and then I'm like, something's not right.
How come Dusty hasn't talked in 3 seconds?
Someone get me 2 AAAs and
sorry,
get this guy going
can somebody
again.
please change my batteries?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
I had the butter chicken pizza on
You talked
Thursday.
about this, yeah.
It was awesome. I don't know if it's part of that $15 lunch menu.
Sounds too fancy.
But on game days, a $5 off medium pizzas.
Never a bad idea.
Always good. And I like BP's because they do try different. They switch up their menu a lot, obviously. But I had that butter chicken pizza. And it was fantastic. And then DVD had the butter chicken pasta. And I asked him because the sauce, it smelled great, right? Like
yeah.
And I was like, how was it? He goes, it was good, but I'm not a big pasta guy. And I was like, oh.
Why did he
You
order?
watch your mouth
Why did he
around
order
me.
Why did he order the butter chicken pasta?
Because he was intrigued by it. He said it was good though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know.
So he was intrigued by it, but he's not a pasta guy.
Yeah, he went into this whole spiel about how he's not a pasta guy, and I was like,
DVD, you're a strange cat. You're a strange
know.
cat, but thanks for coming in on the hangout earlier today. That was a fun chat with him and the Big Jeezy.
Big Jeezy was he got fired up on a couple things.
Good, as he should.
It was awesome.
As he should.
Yeah, we've got Jazzy's in tomorrow. Jazzy's in later this week. I'm away tomorrow. Obviously, Wannick's away, but I've got now that it's like I'm in control of the show for the 2 weeks while Wannick's gone.
Yeah,
I have pre-booked a bunch of guests. We're working on one more. Hopefully,
I looked at the list over there, and it's a nice little list you got planned.
I got a couple more people in the works
for the next couple of weeks.
We're gonna have fun.
That's pretty good.
We're gonna have fun.
That is pretty good. All right, we've got Popeye's headlines coming up. Keep it or clip it for Tommy Guns. We will also have that new Nate Trade Watch segment that we will get to on our show on EST Afternoons, and of course the Reed Wilkins show as well. What do you think of my chin strap today, buddy?
It's formidable.
Do you like it?
That was the term I used when I saw it this morning.
It's thicker, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why it is formidable.
Feel pretty good about it.
Did you do it last night?
I did it last night. I did do it
We're
last
ending
night.
the stigma.
Yeah, we're trying to. I don't know if it's gonna work.
This is 15 years running.
Fingers crossed. I hope it ends the stigma here.
The effort
at some point
is unparalleled.
Yeah, it's in a good spot. I can make it thinner throughout the month if I want.
You could do whatever you want with that charge.
Anyway, it feels nice. My wife loves it.
It looks good.
Yeah, she thinks it's good. So
you're gonna get a haircut this month.
Maybe this week. Thinking possibly going this week, but I've been saying that for a while.
You have been.
When I do go get a haircut, it will be at Tommy Guns. But I prefer short hair with the chin strap.
Yeah.
Long hair chin strap I haven't had. Well, I guess I had this look for a couple
Your
of
hair's
years.
curling a little bit now.
Oh, yeah, my hair curls. That's it. Like, it won't come down.
Well, I remember when you had your afro.
It just goes up like this. That's it. It's a weird spot to
when
be
you
in.
had the fro, did you have to, like, tease it and dress it up, or did it just do
if
that?
I wanted to fro out, I'd have to like blow dry it and throw it out.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it doesn't hang. Like I could never do a ponytail. Like it only grows up and out.
That was wild when you had that afro.
Yeah, I could do it again. Like if I did an afro right now, maybe I will before I get it cut. Maybe I'll do afro show. Hey, maybe one morning, like next week, I'll do afro show.
You were a different Dustin back then. I think that was before you got married to Tam.
No, I was married.
You were married,
but pre-kids.
Yeah.
Once I became a father, I had to start being more responsible with better haircuts.
Doing more TV stuff.
Yeah. I guess that's true too. I started going on television, and I didn't want to look.
You're
look
decent
like a
at
mess.
it.
Yeah, we'll see.
This
one says Mike from outside Edmonton says, I want to see Tommy go full chin strap.
Dude,
should be good to go and grown in by this time. It's fashionable. You could, especially with that shirt, you could be chin strap guy. Your chin strap would be one of the weakest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Like first of all,
that would not be good.
Thank you, Mike, outside of Edmonton. But I'm blonde. Like this is dirty blonde. But like my facial hair, yes, I do have it. It is blonde.
It's not technically there right now.
Well, I shaved.
Okay, but not your mustache.
I shaved this morning.
Did you?
Well,
it looked like you got a little.
I did a little trim. Yeah. But like it looks like someone took dirt and like threw it on my face when I don't shave for like 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I look like
so you're not
rat.
you're not a candidate to be a chin strap guy.
Not yet.
Okay, but we got that going for us.
Yeah, it happens, and I'm okay with that. But thank you, Mike, outside of Edmonton. I appreciate that. Dusty is marching on with Charch.
Yeah,
He's charging on.
Good. I think Eric's going to join me later in the month.
He got rid of his chops.
I think it's because he's going to grow in a nice, fine chin strap.
He's getting some distinguished salt in there.
Yeah. I mean, for a little while now, I think. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. All right. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. We'll head up over into the nasty chat as well. Scott Thompson says, Charge comment. Dusty looks like a tall, dark version of Ed Sheeran.
Oh.
Wow. I've never had an Ed. What does Ed Sheeran sing? You're beautiful.
Yeah. He's a very charming
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Is that Ed Sheeran?
I think so.
No, I think that's Nelly Furtado. Huh.
He's one of those songs.
I think he has you give me shivers.
He's got a bunch
give me shivers
of really big songs.
Yeah.
He's a charmer. You're a charmer.
Thanks, Tommy. Bone says an afro and a chin strap might be too much for the ladies to stand. Like Austin Powers blowing up the fembots.
Great scene.
That was a good scene. All right, man, let's start with a positive. Let's go there, and then we'll get into mystery and intrigue around the deadline.
Boy, oh boy.
How was post-game on Saturday? How many shots did Pickard face in the third? Like 17, 18, something
yes,
like that?
And he ended with 35 saves on 36 shots.
Outstanding game.
He played excellent. Yeah. He really did. I mean, the breakaway in the last 47 seconds left, because that was the turning point of the game, brought to you by Evander Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. And McDavid, of all people, had that giveaway.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
A bad one right at the top. Like, saved
untimely.
His ass.
Yeah. Pickard was rock solid. Good for him. Like, because he didn't have a good start in Washington. The team obviously wasn't good coming out of the break. We talked about it all week last week. A big sense of relief on Saturday evening, Dusty. I think that's a good way to put it. Now, people, and we pointed it out too, it was not a beautiful game by any means. I mean, the guys on the broadcast talked about it. 13 minutes in the first period without a shot, and it felt like one of those games. You
can't have that.
Yeah, and then obviously it picked up. The third period was entertaining. It got closer than maybe it needed to, but they hang on. They get a regulation win in a building that visiting teams this season don't generally get regulation wins in. I think the Canes are second best at home this season, or at least they were going into that game. That's a positive, and you salvage something. Yes, you gave up ground to the Kings over the week. Yes, you lose first place to the Golden Knights, but you're still in the mix. The only thing you could do is worry about the next game, start piling up some wins, cleaning up some elements of their game. And there were some good parts of the game that seemed to be coming around. Now, the PK still sucks. I'm sorry. It's not good right now.
I'd be worried about that heading into the playoffs.
Power play, spotty, but it, still top 10 in the NHL. The 5-on-5, there's something to be desired there. However, the effort, the grittiness in Florida and Carolina, I thought took a step in the right direction. Could they go a few steps further? Absolutely. But like less flybys, less TV turns, more attention to detail. And then a couple guys who really drove the bus. I'll say Brett Kulak was one of them.
Two good games in a row for Kulak. Yeah.
Kulak, just he's excellent. Like that's why you hang on to him, and that's why he's valuable. Adam Henrique scored for the first time in 17 games, they said. So little things that Janmark I thought was all right. So there were some good signs there. You beat a good team. I think, that'll help. Now they get home. They've been gone for basically a month.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, after being, obviously a couple weeks off and then gone for another 10 days or whatever it was, 10, 11, 12 days.
Get settled in, beat the wheels off the Ducks, or just beat them, quite frankly. Get ready for the Habs. Build your game towards Saturday against Dallas, because that's going to be a big game.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge game against Dallas. Dallas with a 6-3 win last night. A lot of this week, we will be just getting into your thoughts and comments. This is the place to do it. Edmonton Sports Talk, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Dave is going to come in hot this morning and say, hey, guys, the organization can never get out of its own way. Are they not looking for Boberg, Holloway, and McLeod at the deadline? JJ does not get enough heat for the decisions that he has made. That went in from Dave. So Dave's obviously a little fired up today. Let's slide over onto the nasty chat. If you're watching on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We should smash through 100 on today's show. We are sitting at 30 right now. Machine Gun Podkolzin. Gazzola, is Arvidson being held out for trade-related purposes? That's a question that that's come in. He did not skate today. Savoy was up in the top 6 with Draisaitl. Could be an Arvidson placeholder, essentially. Or maybe that's where I'd have him anyway. So we'll see what happens against the Ducks. But did Arvidson get hurt? I didn't notice. I didn't see anything.
Get hurt.
Okay, so what do you think's going on there?
Okay, somebody messaged me over the weekend saying keep an eye out on Arvidson.
Okay.
I had no idea he had a no trade clause, first of all.
Yeah.
We found that out this morning. But what I was told is Arvidson might be willing to be traded.
Okay.
And then when I asked around to people within the organization, that was news to them.
Okay.
So I'm getting mixed signals there.
Yeah.
Again, I'll go back to what I said earlier. It just hasn't been a good fit. So
maybe not for the player either. Like,
yeah,
he might not be happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, swing and a miss on both sides. Swing and a miss on both sides. I don't know what to believe right now with these mixed messages. So,
I'll tell you, it would make their money in, money out issue a little bit easier if Arvidson is totally open to if he's willing to see what the fit might be somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, then that's $4 million you might be able to get off your books.
Right.
Or turn into a $4 million defenseman or something along those lines.
Right. So, like, my hunch would be like, it would make sense if he was open to a move. So I'm just passing along what was brought up to me. And I can't seem to get a firm response.
Well, but interesting to see him not on the ice. Now, there was a couple other guys who weren't on the ice either, right? So
I'm assuming these guys are resting up. I know they had yesterday off, but they got in late from Carolina. That's a long flight. I think that's like 4.5. And it's coming back out west. So, no, but we'll see how this develops. But yeah, that's a guy that if he's willing to move on, I'd put him out there. I don't know what you're getting for him though.
Well, I it's not the point where you have to add picks to get rid of him, though, is it? Like Arvidson,
I don't think so.
Arvidson can still play. I think a team will look at him and go, maybe not a great fit in Edmonton and hasn't worked, but we liked him before in Los Angeles. So, I sure hope you wouldn't have to add to him.
I don't think so.
No,
I think he still has some cachet. Like, he's had a bad year. Yes, he's been dinged up the last few years, but remember how excited everyone was when they signed him here? His name has cachet. He just played for Sweden at the Four Nations face-off. You don't make a national team being a plug. And Sweden was a good team. I know he's a fourth liner, but whatever. He was on that team. So I don't know, to whoever texts that in, I don't know where it's at. I was just I'm passing along what I've been told and talk amongst
Wizard
yourselves.
Wonder says, same return as Nyquist? Nyquist went for a second in 2026.
Maybe. That'd be okay, right?
I mean, if you're getting a draft pick and clearing up cap space then you go get a player somewhere else.
Good point.
Right? Like then you go and add to the second or whatever and get Alex Tuck if you could somehow weasel him out of there, right? Like,
I would honestly love that.
I think that would be a big one. All right, 780-218-9999. From practice today, McDavid, Hyman, Nuge, Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Savoy, like we said, could just be an Arvidson placeholder. Henrique, Brown, Janmark, Skinner, Kapanen, and Perry. So Podkolzin back up there with Draisaitl. We'll get to a little bit more on Skinner in Keep It or Clip It coming up a little bit later on. The defense all rotating, and no Ekholm or Kulak on the ice as well. Statue Bosch Production says the others are so hard up against it wouldn't shock me if they have to attach assets to move anything. And you know what? Let's dive into this new segment we've got on our show this week, on the Reed Wilkins Show on EST Afternoons, and on the Nielsen Show as well. It is Trade Watch. Let's get to Trade Watch, brought to you by Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. For more information, visit nate.ca/CLSP. That's nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level. So you're a journeyman out there, you want to get that certificate to elevate yourself, they're offering that right now at Nate. Nate.ca/CLSP, and it's a construction and kind of trades program, which works out really well.
Oh,
with
I
Trade
see
Watch.
the pun there.
Yeah, there's
very well done.
I mean, it's really easy. They reached out to me last week, and they're like, hey, We like EST. We've got a budget here with this program we want to push for like the next month. We'd like to build something around trades. I was like,
hello.
Come on. Like, this is perfect. It's trade deadline week. So you're going to see this plastered all over EST this week. And who knows, maybe some of you take your career to the next level by taking the certificate program. And we'd love to hear those AM nasty and nasty stories in the future. So nate.ca/CLSP. And if I have to tell you how to spell Nate, I don't think you'll be able to get in anyway.
I'm a alumnus of Nate, as are many of us here.
A proud ook.
A proud ook. I actually really like when they introduced that new shield.
How long ago did they put that in?
It was right when I was graduating. So that would have been 2000.
I think it looks really good.
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it's a nice.
It's really the only one
nice
I've ever
look.
known. I like it. I think it's.
Yeah. The old one was like a 60s, 70s kind of like weird font. This is great, but nice to have Nate on board for Trade Watch. This is awesome.
All right, so let's get into some of your thoughts on the upcoming deadline. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can get in on this one. Sean over in the chat, what's up, buddy? Bringing in these top six older guys hasn't worked. They don't get much top six time. Plus, they'll never get much power play time too. And if you could work it out here before the deadline, Tommy, to get a little bit younger, to get a little bit quicker. I know it's just like, well, they were younger and they were quicker. I get it.
Yeah.
I think they probably drifted too far in the other direction. Mm-hmm. And now they would probably like to rekindle a little bit of that youth and speed. If you could pull that off here prior to then, that's not easy to do at the deadline usually. I mean,
I don't think it is doable in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah. But like how young do you want to get a guy?
It's not hard for them to get a little bit younger. Oh. Right, you can find some 26 and 27-year-olds, that type of thing, right? Like you don't need to. You're not going to be able to find 21 and 22-year-olds that are going to slot into your lineup here right away.
Right.
But
unless you could pull a fast one on somebody. But yeah, you're right. I think it could be doable if they feel like they need to get younger, and I don't disagree with that thought, to be honest with you. Yeah.
All right, this one's in from Hampton Steve. Maybe this is where we can tie in this conversation around Kane. Do you think Kane would have Boston on the list of teams he'd be willing to go to? If so, could the Oilers package him and a first-round pick and some other picks and prospects to get in on Brandon Carlo and maybe Frederick as well?
Could they? Yeah. Will they? I don't know. I like Brandon Carlo. Like when I saw that news about the Flames,
yeah, I know,
trying to grab him, I'm like, that's smart. But the Flames have a little bit more to work with, I think, than the Oilers do. That's a lot to give up to get Carlo and Frederick. Frederick had a good year last year. He's struggling this year. I get that, but he would be the right kind of jam that this team needs, I think. Now, would Kane have Boston on his list? I feel like Kane's the kind of guy. I was thinking about this the other day. Where has Evander Kane played? Edmonton, Winnipeg, Atlanta, Buffalo, and San Jose.
Yeah, give him a big market.
Those are not sexy cities, quote unquote, sexy cities, right? San Jose is close to San Fran, sure. But like,
let me ask you this question during the Trade Watch segment here. Why would a team trade for Evander Kane?
Why would they? Because they value his strength, size, and skill. And they would also believe that he would, with a fresh slate, could provide an impact right away.
Now, when we talk about a possible team trading for Evander Kane, are they doing it to get picks to take him from you as well? Because to me, if they value something, like you just laid out, they'd be willing to give up something to get him, Whereas, I think a lot of people are just sort of assuming, trade Kane before Friday, but you're going to have to move some stuff too. And then you
have to do Kane plus just to get him off your books.
Kane plus picks to get him off your books.
I don't see it that way.
You don't think so?
No.
So you think they could get a player for Evander Kane?
You're giving a player in Evander Kane. That's the thing. He has a year left. It's a healthy ticket. What is it? 5.125 for one more year. What is pretty clear with Evander Kane is that when he arrives at a new destination, he's pretty dialed in. Like when he got Buffalo was a mess from the beginning, but when he got to Atlanta, like he was a young first rounder, you saw the promise in him. When he got to San Jose, he had Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau there, and they had a good veteran core, and he was great for the first year and a bit. Then stuff went sideways. When he came here, it was basically his last chance, right? And he was excellent. Excellent. The gruesome injury his second season, that was awful, but I thought he had a good playoffs. I thought he started out the year. He was one of the few Oilers that started last season off really well. When he's healthy and motivated, he's excellent. He's a very good hockey player. So that's why I think, the motivation would come from having one more year left on his contract. So you have a short runway, got to make an impact, especially if you want one more deal before your career's up and you're in a new market. He's usually pretty good in new markets. So I think you don't have to give more up to get rid of him. But that's just me.
But you could trade Kane for a 4th round pick? Or is
I don't
more
know.
value there, you think, coming back?
I'd want to get a player back. I try to do everything in my power to get a player back.
I just don't think, I think if I'm another team, I'm not giving up a player for a guy who hasn't played all year. It's
That's the hard part. But here's the weird thing with Evander Kane is, I know he made that sly comment. And he's like, I've come off the couch before. Yeah, he kind of did when he was on the outs with San Jose. I think they buried him in the minors, and he played a few AHL games, and he got suspended, remember, because of his COVID, his passport thing. Just a bunch of crap like that. And that's the bad side of what you get with that player. But of all the people in the world, of all the players in the NHL, if you were to say, which guy do you think could come back from not playing a year and actually be good right off the hop? I'd be like, him. He's finds a way. He's motivated. He wants to prove everyone wrong. And when he says F you to everybody and sticks it to you, he's pretty damn good. I have to give him credit.
JD slides in here on Trade Watch and says, did I miss something? What's the deal with the Evander Kane situation? When he went out, all the talk was the Oilers could bank the salary and pick up a top 4 defenseman at the trade deadline. Now all we hear is money in, money out talk. What happened to all that salary? So let's bring JD and maybe some others who aren't up to speed here.
Mm-hmm.
So the Oilers, as of this moment, at least from what we are led to believe, don't know when Evander Kane is going to return.
Correct.
And if Evander Kane says, I'm healthy to play in April, they can't be over the cap because they went on and spent at the deadline, assuming he was going to be out until the playoffs.
Correct.
So essentially, I guess I talked about a little bit with Rashad this morning on the Nielsen show. In a perfect world, Evander Kane's like, hey guys, I'll probably start skating full speed early April. I'll be ready for the playoffs. Yeah. And then you go, but that doesn't appear to be what's happening here, right?
We had Elliot Friedman on Hello Hockey on Saturday.
Great Hello Hockey, by the way. Friedman was a nice get.
It was an awesome draft primer, and Friedge had to leave the first 5 minutes to break a trade, and then he came back on the show later. And so we got the Kane update, and he said he hadn't spoken with Evander, but it is his understanding, and he was led to believe that Evander ideally would like to play some regular season games to be ready to be impactful in the postseason for the Edmonton Oilers. That's Elliot, his belief on Kane, and his mindset. So to play a few games in the regular season, to be ready to go for the playoffs. And you go, oh, great. Kane sounds like he wants to come back and feels like he'll be back. The flip side of that is you lose that extra cap space that you might have accrued on LTIR to make a move and bring in a impact defense.
And when you could have Kane just start playing in the playoffs and use that money, the old LTIR loophole that other teams have done.
So now to those that whenever I brought up and over the last couple of weeks made the comment that I was told, everyone's on Evander's time. Now you get it. So if his intention is to come back before the regular season is up, poof, there goes that extra cap space to use at the deadline.
Yeah.
What kind of player are you getting? And it is like they're obviously rehabilitating all of his injuries, his surgeries, all of that. So they're working with him. But like the last couple days, today, tomorrow, maybe as late as Wednesday, they need to know so they can make a play on Friday for whichever players they're trying to target. So that's what I meant by everyone's on Evander's time. If his intention is to want to play before the regular season is up and the team would love to have his cap space, well, then that's why I was saying that.
So I guess he should have waited to get surgery in October instead of September. Then it would have pushed him right back to the playoffs.
Here's the crazy thing is like, but the knee surgery too. When he had his Zoom call with us and he revealed when he suffered the knee injury, I think it was late October. And he waited to January to get the surgery? It's like, what's going on? Didn't get the knee surgery because you're rehabilitating everything that happened with the hernia and all that, or you just didn't want to? Like what? So that's why there's this shroud of confusion. Because I've seen a lot of comments from people on our shows, other shows on the station, text line, inbox. This organization, how do they not know? They must know. Well, they'd love to know, obviously, but when you're getting these mixed messages and, a guy like, well, I'd like to, but I don't know. Maybe I will be ready. Maybe I won't be ready. We'll see. Do you really know? No. That's why it's kind of like, it's a shrug and we'll find out, I guess. And now it's crunch time.
Okay, so let's look at it this way. Evander Kane, if he can come back healthy and motivated and fired up,
which would be great.
He checks off the one need that everybody's talking about. Top six forward.
Absolutely.
So you could get the top six forward it's just Evander Kane, which we've seen him have some good times in the playoffs here. We've seen him kind of be a non-factor in the playoffs here.
Yes.
So like if your boxes are top six forward, 4/5 defenseman, and maybe a bottom six forward. If Evander Kane says, I'm going to come back and play and get wrapped up for the playoffs and you're going to use that cap space money on me, then technically, if he plays well, you check off the top six box.
Yeah.
So then you're looking at bottom six forward, 4/5 defenseman. Can you get that done with the money in, money out scenario?
I'm sure you could, but it gets a hell of a lot tougher, right?
You're going to need some retention. You have to pay for it a bit.
Now you got to jump through some more hoops to get it done. So where there's a will, there's a way. Maybe you got to get creative, but it makes it harder. And I'll just cap off the Kane thing with this. That's why best case scenario is he comes back for playoffs. Does not play in the regular season.
That's best case scenario for, I think, everybody.
Absolutely. Then you flip him in the offseason. That's what I was told. I believe it. I understand it.
Get him back, then flip him.
Get him back in the playoffs. He scores a few goals, maybe. Plays motivated, and then you say, thank you, Evander. It's been a nice 3 years. Sending you off, and away you go.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Guys, the bottom line is management fully expected Kane to be on the LTIR into the playoffs. He's informed that he wants to return in the regular season. He could easily increase the recovery time a few weeks to ensure that he is 100%. Be like, you know what? I'll just push it a little bit less. Let's push it a little bit less for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And there are ways that you could do. I just don't. It almost seems like we're getting close to. He's not ready to go until playoffs, and Evander Kane's like, "Oh, I'm ready." He's got his bag and his stick, and he's like, "Let's go." And you're just like, "Why would you not just be like, yeah, I'll just extend things a little bit, so that as a team we can have a better chance to win a Stanley Cup?" We being Evander Kane and his team.
Yes.
Why would you? Why would you not want that?
Because you can never predict him.
A real wild card.
He's a wild card.
Yeah. And you know what? That's probably why when he is on, he's very good.
Yeah.
But it's also why it hasn't worked out in any other team that he's been on. They've all kind of ended in some sort of weird thing. So, yeah, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. That is your Trade Watch segment. If you're looking to take your career to the next level right now, It's Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program. Perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization that needs to develop leaders. Send your employees there. Get them the certificate program. For information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level. All right, let's dive into your headlines. Spicy Popeyes headlines right now. It's lunchtime. If you want to get your hands on a $4 little snack, the value menu at Popeyes can do that for you. 5 different items, $4. Mini chicken sandwich, mini chicken wrap, black and cauliflower, the 5 nugs. It's all available at all Popeyes locations. There's a new Popeyes opening up. I don't even, it might already be
I
open.
thought the one over
down
here
by
was...
the old one at work, right? Where the old Bell building.
Oh yeah,
there's one out there now by that business Costco.
That's
or
right,
whatever.
man.
But, I don't know if that's a Furby one or what, but Popeyes continuing to pop up all over the place.
I see what you did there.
Hey, do you think, so for the headlines, we'll get to the Jones trade in a second. Do you think, and there's some people who are like, the Oilers know what's going on with Kane and everybody's just kind of acting all coy so that they can, so that at the end they're not accused of, well, Kane could have come back. Like they're taking the loophole and just being very dramatic about it. I got time for that as like a story in a documentary years from now, but I don't think that's the case.
I know. And why I have my doubts about it as well is like when I physically talk to these people that are in the organization and I go, come on, like they don't give me like a subtle hint or a gesture being like, we're working it. I don't get it. They're like, seriously, we have no clue. Like that's the frustrating part. And I'm like, don't mess with me. And they're just like, okay. So that's why I don't think it's them playing coy. And I said last week, and I say it again this week, if that is how they're selling it and they are seriously being coy about it, bravo. Like, give them an Oscar for their acting skills. But I just don't get that sense because they're sincere and they're like, whenever he's ready, I guess he'll tell us when he's ready.
I like to imagine like Knobloch puts the lines up on game day in the room. Then Evander Kane walks in, rubs somebody's name out, and puts me, just M-E, like Podkolzin, me. And he's back, baby.
Oh.
He's back. All right. Let's see here. 780-218-9999. We are 30 likes away from changing 100. There's over 300 of you watching right now. You can hammer a thumbs up for us. I think that would be good. Bronco Nick says, side note, T. Higgins was just franchised. Not surprised. Not for this show, though. And if you have any questions for Keep It or Clip It, send them in right now. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Or hit us up over in the nasty chat as well. And we'll throw a couple of those into Keep. We have some already, but we'll throw a couple more in. The headlines, big trade. A couple of trades over the weekend. 3 of them on Saturday. Colorado getting Jimmy Vesey and Lindgren. Yeah. What do you think that does for the Avs? I mean, they've been retooling pretty much on the fly the entire season, trying to keep this window open with McKinnon and Makar, which it certainly is. But what do you think of that deal?
They added, Lindgren, like solid defenseman, and depth at forward with Vesey. Good veterans. And you need good veterans. We saw it last year here with the Oilers. Like, you need a lot of good veterans to get you deep in the postseason, and they've added a lot. Well played, Colorado. I'm impressed. Now, let's see what they do with it. The Central Division, that's going to be a battle, obviously, just like it will be in the Pacific in the postseason. But I thought those were good ads. So the Avs they're not messing around, and I respect the hell out of that. So good job. And taking advantage of a Rangers team that who knows what Chris Drury's doing, to be honest with you.
You know what? I'd put in a call for Jonathan Quick.
Yeah?
I like Jonathan Quick, man. He's won some cups. I'd have some time for Jonathan Quick.
He's a backup now, though.
Yeah, but he's a good backup.
Yeah. Well,
like maybe I'm wrong, but like every time I've watched Jonathan Quick
as a backup.
He did. I mean, but that's a pretty good insurance policy. Like you could, I don't think the Rangers probably aren't going to do anything, but let's be honest. What'd you just say about Drury? Nobody knows really what he's doing there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Jonathan Quick. Every time I watch him play, I'm like, man, Jonathan Quick still got it. Now it's more of a limited role, but could you suck a cup run out of him still? Yeah, he's got a 903, 292.
If I'm playing devil's advocate, I'd be like, what happened 2 years ago? The Golden Knights had Quick as their backup. Was it Logan Thompson goes down? Guess what? They go to their number 3, Aiden Hill, and he wins the Stanley Cup.
You're right. They should trade for Aiden Hill.
I said that like 4 years ago. People like, no, he sucks.
I don't know, man. I have a little bit of a soft spot for Jonathan Quick behind this team. I think he will. How much does he make? I mean, he's probably got to have some. Let's see here. Goaltending's not even on the radar. I'm wasting my time on this. But I
just like the idea of Jonathan Quick.
I like the idea of Jonathan Quick, a veteran guy who's won it before, coming in, even stabilizing Skinner a little bit and just helping him. 1.2. He's got a 20-team no trade list, and he's a UFA at the end of the year. Anyway, something I'd be intrigued by, I guess. And then Seth Jones goes from Chicago to the Florida Panthers. The Panthers get Tkachuk on LTIR. He'll be ready come playoff time, I would assume.
Oh, baby. Fire him out.
I guess Tkachuk's okay with that. What do you think of the addition of Jones, and how much further do you think the Panthers take this thing?
Very impressed with the Jones pickup. I'm curious to see what he's like on a great team, playing motivated. And he can go in there and he's not like the guy.
Yeah.
You know, you got Ekblad, you got a couple other good players that they still have that take away a lot of the attention. Obviously, Barkov and Reinhart and Bennett. So he can just go slide in there and play solid, nice and quietly. So I thought that was a sneaky good ad by Florida, man. That's an aggressively impressive move.
They will spend every dollar of that LTIR.
100%. 100%. And as much as people around here hate Matt Tkachuk, by all accounts, him and Brady are absolute beauties and team guys that I could see Matthew Tkachuk being like, yeah, I'm pretty banged up. I will do everything I can to be ready by the playoffs.
I'm going to work really hard to
be ready for the playoffs. So, sneaky championship caliber move. How about that?
It is. I mean, it's just, I think Oilers fans got to be frustrated with how other teams can kind of get that done. And we're sitting here in Edmonton being like, what if Evander Kane might want to play still? So you can't bring him back. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I like what James said in the nasty chat. Tommy, acting stupid isn't a stretch for Oilers management. Man, Oilers management went from heroes to dog, you know what, pretty quick.
Yep.
In the eye of the fan base.
That's the job. You'd be a hero forever or a zero almost immediately. And you know what? By this time on Friday, they could be looked at as heroes again.
Yep. Or
they could be looked at as just Tambellinis. And it's just, you're going to be like, oh no, what was this about?
I saw Amos Moses said to us a pretty funny text. I'm going to see if I can pull it up, but it was a picture. Yeah, here it is. He's got a picture of Tambellini. Or no, Chiarelli with his hands up like this when he had the greasy stash.
Yes.
He's wearing a golf shirt and a track jacket. He goes, Arvidson for Holloway. The deal is 1-for-1.
Should have just kept that guy.
Oh, man.
Timber Woodsman says, it seems like Kane has the management of Oilers nuts in a vice. He's going to get what he wants, even if it doesn't make the team any better.
It's possible, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Yeah, it could happen. Might happen.
What are you going to do?
Hopefully not.
What are you going to do? Let's get to Keep It or Clip It for Tommy Guns, where I am well overdue for a visit. There's no doubt about that. And if you're looking for that great haircut, look, when I haven't had a haircut in 3 months, I am going to be wanting that great haircut experience. Simple as that. Why wouldn't you? Get it at Tommy Guns, the original barbershop. They believe a great haircut is more than just a quick in and out. It's about the whole experience. That's why we follow the code, a commitment to deliver the best barbershop experience every time you visit. From check-in to the finishing touch, every step is crafted with care. No appointments needed. Just walk in, relax, and we will take it from there. Keep it or clip it. Alex Tuck should be the Oilers' #1 priority at the deadline.
I'm very biased towards this.
Even more so than a D-man.
Oh, clip
That's
it.
why. Oh, okay. So quickly. That was a quick clip.
Yeah.
All right. But you really wanted to keep it there for a while.
I have liked Alex Tuch since day one when he got to Vegas from Minnesota. I think there's a very good middle six forward there. Responsible, big, doesn't play like physical or anything like that, but he'll get in there. He's got great hands. He can score. He's like a 40 to 50 point guy. But clip it. You need a defenseman. That's been priority number one.
That's got to be priority number one, yeah.
And it still is. Like, you haven't solved that. And people that are finally have moved off of maybe John Klingberg could be the guy. Those people that gave that idea some hope, it seems like they've actually recognized, like, no, he's not. But I like to say to people, like, to me, Klingberg is still an upgrade on Stetcher. And that's fine. Like, he made some good moves.
He made a couple of decent plays, yeah.
And some nice passes on Saturday that I was like, okay. Like, now maybe he's starting to figure his game out a little bit. Are the wheels there like before? Maybe not, but he's still got some game left.
Keep it or clip it for Tommy Guns. Jeff Skinner did enough against Carolina to stay in the lineup tomorrow.
Keep it, because if your name's Kapanen, you did nothing to stay in the lineup all week.
You get to stay in the lineup.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd keep Jeff Skinner in there, and he has been producing. He has been producing in the limited games and minutes he's gotten since the calendar's flipped to 2025. You need goals. He gets them. Is he picture perfect defensively and in the neutral zone? Nope. But that's part of the deal, and they should have known that before they signed him.
Shaggy in St. Albert says, keep dreaming, guys. Tuck is not coming here. Look, we just said it. We'd like him to be one of the top priorities. I'd be pretty surprised if he ends up here. But
so would I. But I would like
it. Fun to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's fun to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
The only move the Oilers will make prior to the deadline is a bottom six forward. Keep it or clip it.
Clip it. I think they prioritize a defenseman.
I just wonder if they're like, Klingberg will do. Especially if they don't have much wiggle room with the cap.
I really hope that's not the case. Because
I agree with you, buddy. You will not get an argument from me, but I'm just looking at it from a team perspective going, they brought in Klingberg. I think he looks a little bit better than I thought he would look. Does that continue to improve? They might just sit there and go, look, we don't have much money anyway. Let's go out and get a bottom six energy guy. Evander Kane comes back and we'll just run with Klingberg. I'm still going to clip it as well with you.
Yeah.
But if the trade deadline comes and goes and they bring in just a bottom six forward, I will not be like, oh my God, stunned. I'll be very disappointed that they didn't find a way to do more. But I don't think I'd be like, I can't believe it. This is stunning. Like, I don't think I'd go that far.
Benny in the nasty chat. I don't know if it's Ben.
Like
Thompson.
our Benny?
It might be our Benny. David Savard with the heart eyes emoji. I'm laughing. Like, speaking of David Savard, that's a name that Pagnotta on our trade primer
for a while. Yeah.
If you're at this point right now and you're tight against it cap wise, and you could swing a deal for Savard, are you satisfied, or is it less of a blow that you can't get a bigger name in oil country that could you be like, yeah, okay, I'll take David Savard? And it is our Benny, so. Nice. Good reminder.
Love your blind rankings.
We had a good one on Saturday. I
think we might steal that at some point for our show. Good. Blind rankings are very fun to watch on on TikTok and Instagram. And stuff. Yeah. What'd you guys do? What was the one this week? Hey.
Bellsy's former teammates.
Oh boy, that's a good one.
Number one.
Did you get close to it? Because you guys have sucked at these blind rankings, haven't you?
I've sucked at them. Yeah. Bellsy likes to say that he's pretty good at his Saturday picks. He's not. But Bellsy exudes confidence. And then
it's not impressive if you pick 3 right, if you pick 6 wrong, Bellsy. Come on.
Thank you. And then he says that he's won blind rankings a couple times. I will admit I've pooched a couple of blind rankings.
Have you?
And it was a collective effort on Saturday where Struddy finished first as his best former teammate.
Like out on the ice, best former teammate?
Beat out Eric Johnson, Brent Burns, Ryan Whitney, and Scott Gomez.
How did that happen?
I know.
God.
Blame
sucks.
Bellsy.
That sucks, a big one. Sorry, Struddy.
We love Struddy.
Stan Bowman has more say in trades than Jeff Jackson does prior to the deadline. Keep or clip it.
Clip it.
Jeff's still going to sign off and everything.
They're a tandem, and we forget that.
Full-blown tandem?
Full-blown tandem.
So this is like two guys coming out of the bullpen to get you to the closer, essentially, is what you're thinking for a baseball reference.
No, that's a good way to put it. It is spring training. Yeah, they work hand in hand. The day-to-day guy is Stan Bowman, but he works with Jeff Jackson in tandem. That's how it was described.
Shanzi texts in. That's keep it or clip it for Tommy Guns. Make yourself look better at Tommy Guns. Shanzi says, listen, the fact that the Oilers have no idea what's happening with Evander Kane, couple that with the fact that they got fleeced on Broberg and Holloway, and now everyone is finding out that 33 has a no movement clause, the management is doing a great job of making themselves look foolish to the rest of the league. That one in from Shanzi today. He's just stating facts there. I mean, it's a view on how
when you sum it up like that, Shanzi.
When you say it like that, Shanzi, I'll have to say it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good. One more keep it or clip it. Sure. Calvin Pickard should start on Tuesday against the Ducks.
I'll keep it.
Yeah,
man, he played awesome. Good to see one of the guys step up and just have an excellent game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know with the way that the team had played on that road trip. Like Pickard's performance in that game was the best thing that we saw, I think, from Eddie on the road trip, with maybe the exception of Draisaitl scoring goals. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you don't give the net back to him. Plus, it's the Ducks.
Yep.
I mean, mind you, they've been playing a little bit better than the laughing stock they were in the first part of the season.
Zegras is back tomorrow, too.
Who's that, Zegras?
Yeah, from his suspension.
All right.
But you're right. They are better.
No, I think you have... I don't like the message it sends when Pickard plays as well as he did. As wild it is to watch him in the net, he stopped the pucks. So...
He's like a mutt in there. It's like... It's not
he's just
technically sound.
He's just grinding like there's no nipples left on the mother, and he's trying to find one in there.
What an image.
Right? Well, you're sick of like the mutt. You know, like there's 5 puppies that are well grown. They're sucking on nipples, but Pickard's just like, let me in there.
Get me in there.
Let me in there. I need one of those too, or else I'm going to die. And, he's just... Pickard keeps finding a way to find the nipple.
Yes.
Right? That's probably the best way to summarize it, I think.
Brendan really enjoyed that metaphor.
Yeah, there was a little giggle there from Brendan.
Giggling.
I mean, we didn't have that on our sheet coming in, like make this nipple reference, but when you said mutt, that's the first thing that I kind of thought of.
I will not anoint him the number 1 or the starter, though.
No?
No,
I wouldn't do that.
Sir Christopher and Sir Andrew and Sir David, the number 1 netminder for the Edmonton Oilers.
I will not do that.
What was that?
That was my knighting ceremony.
All right.
Thank you.
Ryan Rashog with a quick quote from McDavid on the deadline. Talked about being an emotional time with players coming and going. Added management in years past have always done a good job of pitching in and giving us another horse in the stable to help us come down the stretch into the playoffs. So I'd expect them to do the same. And Hernan is pretending to ride a horse.
Oh, that's what that was.
Hey, Hernan, have you ever been on a horse?
Been on a donkey.
You've been on a donkey, but
what
not
are
a horse?
Called burros? Burro.
Were you ever on a horse, though?
No.
So you've just been on a donkey?
I want to be on
a thoroughbred. Yeah, that's a thoroughbred. I think that's a thoroughbred. Thoroughbred. That's what I'm saying. Is that what you guys are saying? Thoroughbred. Well, not
You're
thoroughbred.
Really enunciating.
Thoroughbred. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is in the business of thoroughbreds. And Calvin Pickard can't find the nipple on the mother right now.
You missed the
earlier part of the show. Hey, Hernan, if you were watching the show, you totally get it. What's coming up on EST Afternoons?
Sarah Orlesky.
Oh, Sarah Orlesky, one of the best in the biz. All right, see what the Jets are up to at the deadline. There'll be some Oilers talk too. Surprise, surprise.
Look at
EST Afternoons with some Oilers talk coming up. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a lot of you there. Smash the thumbs up before you take off, and don't take off. Just turn on autoplay, and it'll move you right on over to EST Afternoons. We're 4 likes away from hitting 100, so let's do that today. They'll have another Trade Watch segment on EST Afternoons. You'll have that on the Reed Wilkes Show as well, as we try to keep you as much in the loop as we can throughout trade deadline week here on Edmonton Sports Talk. But yeah, turn on autoplay. It'll take you right on over to EST Afternoons. And if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, don't go anywhere. We'll hopefully have EST Afternoons fired up by 1 o'clock, if not shortly after. What are you laughing?
A couple of texts that came in right at the end. I'm just, Rip City Step says, I think you're thinking of a runt, not a mutt.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Good point.
That could be it.
Do runts
a runt becomes a mutt. Yeah, mutt is just a grown-up runt.
Right. J Style says, never do that again to my knighting. And then Bronx the Boilermaker says, no more Reed voices. They are creepy. Bronx the Boilermaker.
We had a fun show.
That
Let's
was
just
a
say
lot of
that.
fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Let's wrap with this. Sean over in the Nasty Chat says, hot take, Oilers management needs to find the nipple. The mysterious deadline day nipple. Who will suck it? That's going to do it for the Oil Stream today. For Tom Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielson. EST Afternoons is on the way next. I'll talk to you 6 o'clock tomorrow morning on the Nielsen Show right here on EST. Have a great afternoon.